Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where I will be doing another video in the K visa series. Today I'll be talking more about adjustment of status, right? So I am currently at that phase. I already got married a couple months ago, so now I'm currently in the process of adjusting my status, right? So what that really is a process through which you, a non-US citizen, whether you're on a K visa, K2, any other visa category, it's basically to change your status to a lawful permanent resident of the United States, right? So depending on your visa category, there will be some differences between them in terms of which documents you need to file and submit to USCIS. But the process overall is, mostly similar against all the categories, right? So let me go into my handy dandy notebook because I don't want to forget a lot of things. Again, I am not a immigrant visa attorney at all. I am just sharing my wisdom, my insight. You can do further research on the USCIS website and any other websites that are linked to this information, right? So I'll link it in the description below. So first off, you need to file I-485, which is really the application to register for permanent residence, right? Or adjust the status. Basically your green card, right? Next thing is your I-864, which is the affidavit of financial support, right? And this is something again for your US spouse to really say that they can really financially take care of you. You're not going to be a burden to the US government, right? Another thing is I-693, which is the medical report, right? The report of medical and the vaccination record. And this is really applicable because if you have done your medical and, you came into the US and it has expired, it's past the 6 months, you would have to do it over again, right? And you'd have to submit a different medical report to USCIS. But if it has not expired, that is what you will use to submit to USCIS, right? So you should get a vaccination worksheet from Andrews Memorial. That is also what you can submit to USCIS, right? So the next thing is, and these two are optional, but this one is I-765, which is employment authorization. So this will authorize you to work within the United States while your process is pending, right? So once that is approved, you will be able to legally work in the US, right? The other thing is I-131, which is the travel parole, basically authorizing you to travel outside of the US while your process is pending. So you can legally, have that and come back to the US without there being any problems, right? So all those documents that I mentioned before, you would want to file those. And then for additional documents, you would need your proof of marriage certificate. So you need that as a additional document, as well as your copies of your I-94, which is really your travel records, previous divorce decrees or death certificates of your previous spouses. So that needs to be included in the packet that you're going to send to USCIS. You need passport style pics, probably at least 2 to 3. Another thing is you want to make sure that you also have the copy of your US petitioner, that's a US spouse proof of citizenship. So that could be like a naturalization certificate, a birth certificate, a passport, something to prove that he or she is a citizen of the United States, right? So after you gather all those documents and you file all those separate things, right, you want to submit the application to the relevant USCIS address, right? That's nearby in your state, adjoining state, whichever, right? Another thing is, the next step is you will get a notice from USCIS in terms of scheduling your biometrics appointment, and that is where you're going to provide your fingerprints, signature, and take your photos, right? Then USCIS may schedule an interview, like a follow-up for both you and your US spouse, right? So they may or may not, it's not a guarantee, right? It depends on the age and all of that, right? So they may schedule that interview, and it's basically to verify the authenticity of your marriage, to see, you know, if it's really legit. So at this point, you would want to bring your original documents and also copies of it. You know, you never know, right? So just walk with those documents, the copies of them. So that would be like your birth certificate, the marriage certificate, which is very, very, very important. Proof of relationship, which could be like your marriage pics, any pics you have taken together since you guys got married. Proof of things together. So like if your name is on the lease, you want to bring the lease agreement copy, joint bank statement, something that you guys have acquired together, right? And your name, both of your names are on, right? So both you and your spouse have to attend that interview, and the officer may ask both you questions about what's going on in the relationship, how is it going, if they need to gauge if it's really legitimate, right? That's the thing. So if you're approved, you will receive your green card or permanent residence card in the mail, right? And it really depends on the time frame, but some people it's like quicker, or you know, it really depends, right? So if any issues with that, USCIS will contact you. So another thing to note is that with the green card, it really depends on the time frame of your marriage, right? So if you have been married for less than 2 years at the time of the USCIS approval of your case, then you'll be granted conditional permanent resident status. So with that being said, you'll have to file I-751, which is really the removal of the conditions of the residence, right, within 90 days before your green card expires, so that, you know, it will take off all the conditions and you would obtain the actual permanent green card, right? So let me break down the fees thus far, because as you know, or if you haven't noticed, that since April 1st, 2024, everything is kind of separate now. One time they would have the employment authorization and the travel parole bundled up with the green card fee, right? So you wouldn't pay nothing extra other than the green card fee. Now everything is separate theirs. So Form I-485, which is the application for the permanent residence, right, that is $1,440, right? And that is separate. If it's children under 14 with parent, right, they're paying $950 US, right? And then that's in US currency, right? So for the employment authorization, that's Form I-765. That's actually $260 along with the I-485. So back in the day, or before April 1st, it was $0. Now it's $260. For the travel parole, right, which is a Form I-131, that's $630 along with the I-485. So you just know that you need to put a lot of money aside, like 3 to 4K, right, just in case. So that is it really, guys. As you know, things tend to change with USCIS, so just make sure to check out their website from time to time with certain information, especially as it relates to adjustment of status and the fees, right? So if you have any questions, I am more than happy to assist. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to my channel for further updates in the K-Visa series. I will see you guys for our next video. All right.